show tells backstory of icons like Rushmore, Lady Liberty file, in this deck. 9. 2016 file photo. The faces of the presidents that make up the Mount Rushmore monument are shown near Keystone, SD. The PBS host Jeffrey Bear is back this summer with new episodes of his series, 10 That Changed America, focusing on streets, monuments and marvels, including one show that gives the surprising inside story behind icons like the Statue of Liberty and Mount Rushmore. AP photo. David Zalabowski file. Did you know that the original symbolism of the Statue of Liberty had nothing to do with welcoming immigrants? And that Mount Rushmore was basically built as a scheme to get road trippers to make the trip out to South Dakota? You'll hear the inside story on these icons and others from Jeffrey Bear, host of the PBS television series, 10 That Changed America, in 3 new episodes airing this summer. In addition to famous monuments, other episodes focus on streets that changed America, like New York's Broadway, and on modern marvels like the Hoover Dam. Bear is based in Chicago, where he works for the local public television station WTTW and also gives tours for the Chicago Architecture Foundation. He spoke about the show and the backstory of some of the monuments featured in the episode airing July 17 in an interview with AP Travel's weekly podcast, Get Outta Here. Here are some excerpts from the podcast, edited for brevity and clarity. Mount Rushmore. When cars were a new form of transportation, a state official in South Dakota really didn't think in the early days of the road trip that scenery was going to be enough to lure people to drive all the way there, Bear said. So he decided to create the world's biggest roadside attraction. Originally the carvings were going to depict heroes of the American West, but that wasn't deemed a big enough draw, so the concept was changed to presidents. Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to America, but what was the meaning of the gift? Bear says America was seen in the late 19th century as a beacon of democracy and freedom, in an era when French democracy was eroding. So the French used the statue as a way of sending a message to their own country by giving America a gift of this great French figure of liberty. The statue is often romanticized as a symbol of welcome for immigrants, partly due to its location within sight of Ellis Island, where millions of immigrants arriving in the U.S. were processed. They could see Lady Liberty as their ships pulled into the harbor. But Ellis Island didn't open until 1892, 6 years after the statue was dedicated in 1886. So it wasn't until later that the statue took on this additional new meaning as a kind of beacon to immigrants, Bear said. Lincoln Memorial. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation declaring all persons held as slaves to be free. But almost nothing at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., mentions slavery. That's because the intended message of the Lincoln Memorial was that the Civil War was really brother against brother and now we've reconciled, Bear said. 2 of Lincoln's speeches, his second inaugural address and the Gettysburg Address, are engraved on the walls, but not the Emancipation Proclamation. It only was later that the monument became a platform for the civil rights movement, Bear added. That tradition began in 1939 when the great opera singer Marian Anderson was denied permission to sing at Constitution Hall in Washington because she was African American. Instead, she sang on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Later in the 1960s, the monument became a site for civil rights protests, including Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. Bear said one of the show's most important themes is that, whatever the original context may be for a memorial or monument, its meaning often changes with time. Society is always changing, he said, even as the built environment stays where it is. Listen to AP Travel's Get Outta Here podcast with Jeffrey Bear on iTunes, http://apple.co/2s2ru, or on appnews.com, https://appnews.com/fs. Content 2,109,900,157 Jeffrey Bayers 10 That Changed America https://www.pbs.org/show/10-changed-america/copyright 2018 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, written or redistributed. Advertiser content.